What's going on, everybody, and welcome to my first official video, and we are ranking the Kiss album covers. And that is important to preface with that. This is not the albums, it's none of the songs, the content, the making, just the covers. And as time goes on, I will do album rankings, song rankings, all kinds of music. I love horror movies, so I plan on doing some movie reviews and series reviews. All kinds of music, metal, rock, country, rap, electronic, all kinds of stuff I got planned for this. But right now, kicking it out the gate is my most influential band, or favorite band for myself of all time, Kiss. And they have such a discography that I have a lot of album covers to choose from. And I'm going to go from worst to best. The best being You Wanted the Best, down to King of the Mountain. Right in the middle of the road, somewhere between heaven and hell, Burn Bitch Burn, and the absolute worst, Rock Bottom. I'm including all studio albums, live albums, and a couple compilation EP greatest hits just that I've seen the cover of that I kind of know and recognize, just to throw them in there a little differently. And I honestly don't know what's controversial or not in this list. I don't know how people feel about covers, but without further ado, let's get this started. And I put them in order originally, and now they are completely out of order. So I'll do my best to go in line, but starting it all, the original Kiss self-titled album that has inspired, I don't care what they say, but all the black metal, corpse paint, early Burzum, Mayhem, Dark Throne covers of the corpse paint with all the lo-fi stuff. Looks just like Gene Simmons in this one. He just toned it down a little bit. The iconic cover, ripping off the Beatles. We have, going in, King of the Mountain. Start us off right out the gate. It's iconic. You've got the members of the band. This is the first time you see the makeup, and the makeup is a little different. Ace's hair is gray, silver. Peter Criss has a lot going on. It's a whole different vibe, but it's dark, it's aggressive. I imagine if you were walking through a record store and saw this, it'd blow your balls off. King of the Mountain. There's a lot more to come from Kiss that's more of a Kiss feel and look. But right out the gate, not a bad cover. One that's instantly recognizable and had a lot of influence to come. And I would say that it was definitely better than Hotter Than Hell, which will be going somewhere between heaven and hell. The Hotter Than Hell cover, to me, it's kind of how I feel about the album as a whole. It almost fits. The album as a whole is kind of grungy, dark sounding, like bad recording audio style, which some people like, some people don't. That's not about this in this video. But they try to capture this live feel, and it just kind of becomes this jumbled up sounds, and that's kind of what this cover is to me. You got the band, you got the Japanese style stuff, you got the characters on the back. It's a cool cover. I'd say it's iconic. I shouldn't say iconic, it's recognizable for the band. So it's cool in that sense, but to me there's just a lot going on with it that it's not my favorite cover. Also, it is kind of fun to see them just completely ripped out of their mind on the back and on the sleeve of this. But that's not the cover, so we can't count that. Going into their third studio album, Dressed to Kill, looking suave, looking dapper, looking like I wanted the best, baby. That's our first one, and You Wanted the Best right there, Dressed to Kill. It's a cool contrast in the suit. If you have the vinyl, I love vinyls. I haven't been collecting them in years, and I sold a ton of them, which is unfortunate, but I never sold my Kiss ones. And if you get Dressed to Kill, at least on the originals, I don't know now, it has a kiss going around the outside of it that you can't really see in the picture, but it's lifted up off the vinyl, so that's really cool. You have them in this suit. I like to imagine, since they're not very known back then, someone walking down the street seeing this photo shoot happen. It must have been quite a day for those people. Great cover, cool t-shirt, cool poster, cool everything. You Wanted the Best. That is the first one hitting that category, which brings us to Kiss Alive, the one that started it all, that brought them to the mainstream, that showed them to the masses. And I'm going to put that at King of the Mountain. I think it does a good job. It's live. It encapsulates them. They're all doing their own thing. Paul's kissing the camera. Gene's being a demon. Peter's getting cut out. And Ace is sitting there dry humping his guitar like always. You get a good feel. On the back side of the album, you got fans holding up the sign. It gives you a good idea that you're getting a live album like you haven't heard. And it's a double live album, which, don't quote me on it, but it's one of the first ones, if not the first one. But you got Kiss in the background, you got the smoke, you got the lights. It brings out a lot of the show. It's a lot going on, but there's a lot going on in that album too. So King of the Mountain, Kiss Alive, one of my all-time favorite albums, one of my all-time favorite covers. Going in to what I would say, if you're looking at Kiss and you're thinking Kiss, this is the cover most people think of, and that's Destroyer, and that is You Wanted the Best. And we're about to hit a sweet little pocket and era of Kiss covers that I love. I have this on a blanket. I have my dad's original vinyl from '76 that he saved. He went and saw them on tour that year. He's got a blood rag, a drumstick, a guitar pick. I have all those things, so I have a lot of nostalgia to this album. First studio album by Kiss I ever got. I had Greatest Hits CDs, but to have that on CD and then to get it on vinyl, I love that album. The cover, again, first time I ever saw Kiss was on a calendar, and that was on there. They're standing there, look like kings of the world. You don't know if there's an apocalypse behind them. You don't know if they're monsters. You don't know if they're superheroes. All you know is it looks badass. And they set some solid imagery up and a good foundation for what's to come with not just Kiss, but many other bands and covers. Kiss Destroyer rolls us right into Rock and Roll Over, which will also be You Wanted the Best. I remember my sophomore year of high school, I was in class, and I don't remember what shirt I was wearing, but a kid next to me had a Rock and Roll Over shirt that was his mom's from back in the day that he had. And it was just my size. It was fate. And I said, I'll give you $20 and the shirt on my back for the shirt on your back. And we switched shirts right there in class. And I still have that shirt to this day. One of my favorites. Such a cool cover. Just kind of how I was saying, Hotter Than Hell had a lot going on, but it was kind of jumbled. This has a lot going on, but it's done right. The colors are right. The contrast is right. For each character, it fits. You can turn the record around and it flows with itself. Very cool cover. Different from the first, from Destroyer, and different from Love Gun. It's its own little thing in there, but you still have got the masks, so you can really do that product placement back in the day, associating all this, seeing it everywhere, especially coming out in the same year. Love that album cover. And I also love Love Gun, if I could find it. There it is. You Wanted the Best. I don't know if people have some of these in different orders, but I don't even know if these are controversial, but I would imagine that that era of albums, those three, are in most people's top. Love Gun, again, larger than life, superheroes. They got women at their feet. You don't know if they're here. At this point, they're gods. Everyone knows who Kiss is. So they're these heroes larger than life. If you're a kid and that's the first time you saw them, that's what you want to be. That's what you want to do. Very cool. Very iconic. If you got the original vinyl, you got a little Bang Love Gun inside. That's a sweet little perk. And it rolls us in, these three albums that we just talked about, bridging the gap between Kiss Alive and Kiss Alive 2. An album with all the hits, but a cover with nothing to offer. And it's going to Burn Bitch Burn. Of all the hype and the height that they had going into this, to have Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun, to take over the world in a year and a half from Kiss Alive. To have all the hits that everybody knows, everyone loves. The original Kiss Alive, no one knew, but they loved the energy. This one, you have the bangers, you have the live feel, and all you give us for a cover is a big Kiss logo, which at that time is all you needed on the cover, so I get it. That's all you needed to sell it. Alive, too, and then just 4 stock photos. That's a weak album cover for a major pivotal album. Burn, bitch, burn. Which will take us into double platinum. And I'll put that somewhere between heaven and hell because it doesn't offer much good or bad. It just simply exists. It's there. That's the best you can say for it. It's a thing. It's a cover. Most people I know that are casual Kiss fans, especially from back in the day, that's their album, is Double Platinum, because it had the songs you needed, didn't have the other stuff you don't want, you didn't have to go buy the other albums, you got what you wanted out of it. Kiss Double Platinum, big album for people. Bland cover. Kiss Dynasty. There's a few albums in here that are controversial, pivotal, make people have some feelings in some kinds of ways and all that, and Dynasty is one of the bigger ones, if not the biggest one. But you can't deny the cover. It is iconic. I've said, you know what? I'm not going to say iconic again. Going on record. I bet I forget. Kiss Dynasty. So simple, so plain, just their faces. But at that time, they're coming off the solo albums. Kiss Alive 2. All you need is the face. You don't need anything else. And it's so simple, so sleek, yet so cool and iconic that you wanted to hang it on your wall. I said iconic again in the same album. Wow, I need to work on that. Sleek and simple. You can put it on a poster, on a shirt. It fits. Ace Frehley looks high out of his mind in this photo. Very cool cover. Controversial album. Solid cover. Which leads us into Unmasked came before Elder. Yep, Unmasked came before Elder. And for me, Kiss is synonymous with comic books and superheroes and larger than life. Well, I don't like comic books. So it's going somewhere between heaven and hell. Cool cover, cool concept. You got a little story on the front. You know they made Kiss comics in the 70s with their own blood and all that stuff. Cool cover. I have it on vinyl. Friend got it up for me for a present. I like the idea of it, but it just doesn't hold the same weight for me because I don't care about comics. If you like comics, this would be a lot higher. It's a, again, cool idea, but just because I have no tie to it, somewhere between heaven and hell. Not a bad cover, right down the middle. Bringing us to, I believe, yep, Music from the Elder came before, yeah, okay, I'm on it. Music from the Elder, and this album cover is very worthless. Worthless. The album I have found, and a buddy of mine, Sean Blumenshine, who he has his own channel where he reviews Kiss and music and movies and stuff. Go check him out. He's got a lot more knowledge than I do. He found out the hard way that there's a devout group of people who love this album. Like, it's their shit. And it's critically hailed as one of the worst albums of all time. There's some people who love it. We're not talking about the contents of the album. We're talking about the front of it. And just off face value looking at it, it doesn't even look like a Kiss cover. You can't even see Kiss on it. There's no faces, there's no nothing, and I get that it was this story and thought of the Elder, and it's going to be a movie and this, that, and it didn't pan out, and The Wall just came out, and they want this concept album, but it doesn't even look like a Kiss album. And it could very well be rock bottom. I just don't think it's egregious because of what the album was trying to do, but it's 100% not a Kiss album. And I believe next is Killers, and that is going right down there. The worst looking cover. I mean, good God. Gene Simmons has his hair slicked back. The bandana, the lights. This looks like a cover band that you'd go see at your local dive bar that's going to play, and their band is called The Kiss Killers. They look like a parody of themselves. This cover is so bad. Insane that you'd be coming off the ridicule of Dynasty and Disco and The Elder, and then all of a sudden you're like, let's put this on the cover. That'll bring it back around. Horrible. Like, there's got to be a whole roll of film somewhere where they could have found anything better. This is the one they had to use. It is abysmal. Abysmal. And we are heading into the last makeup album of the original era. Before they took the makeup off, that is Creatures of the Night. For me, that's going somewhere between heaven and hell. Does good, it's got their faces on it. They learned from Killers and The Elder, and they got their faces on it. At least they have normal looking faces on it. But unlike the other ones, you know, you see Dynasty up there, or Rock and Roll Over, or the original album where it's got just their faces, you know. This one doesn't add a whole lot of anything to it. Dynasty's kind of sleek. I've said sleek. It's like hazy looking. It's different. The original Kiss one, it's a reference. It's dark. You don't know what you're getting. Rock and Roll Over, it's got the art around it. Creatures of the Night, it's just their faces with blue. And they're already waning in success, so they didn't add much to the cover. It's just right down the middle. It's not bad, but it's nothing to write home about either. It is not much. But we don't have to worry about the makeup problems anymore because we are losing it all with Lick It Up, and that's rock bottom. And it's not because of their bare faces. It's because this cover is nothing. It's just them standing there. You would think if you're having this moment where we're going to revamp the band, we're losing the makeup, they've been trying to see our faces for years, we haven't let it happen, we're doing it now, we're doing it live, fuck it, we'll do it live, and all they did was stand in front of a white backdrop. Looking like a somewhat glam band. Hair band. Kind of, not even that really. Just a plain, basic, ridiculously boring cover that had no reason of existing. They couldn't do anything else. They couldn't recreate one of their old covers just with no makeup. Now we are heading into what I consider the most 80s era of covers that they have. And that is going to Kiss Animalize, and I'm putting that somewhere between heaven and hell. It fits the time period. It is what it is. You got the stripes, you got the print, but you got no Kiss. It's an 80s hairband, glam band cover, I get it. It's the 80s, but there's no Kiss in it. So it's right down the middle of the road. Not a bad album cover, better than Lick It Up, definitely a step up from that. They're a victim of the times, they got what they got, right down the middle, which takes us to Asylum, and this is probably my most controversial one. But this is going to King of the Mountain, and I do not know why. I can't even give you a reason. I just like this album cover. It sticks out to me. They have coffee mugs with all their faces on them. I want them. I don't even drink coffee. I just want the mugs. Something about Gene with pink makeup seductively staring at me and Paul glaring into my soul that I just love this album cover. I'm sure I'm the only one who has it that high if you don't have a nostalgia feeling for it. But something about it, it just gets to me. And I have no excuse. Following our wild ride in the Asylum, we go to Crazy Nights. And this one, it could easily be a burn bitch burn for me, but that's tough. I'll just put it down the middle. That could easily be a burn bitch burn. I don't like it. It's just again, I know I said earlier, show their faces in something different. It's different. It's something at least than Lick It Up. But other than that, it just doesn't have a lot of appeal to me. It's just kind of like a shitty version of Rock and Roll Over with just their faces. Again, 80s, I get it. And I know I said earlier they should do a switch up of a cover, but just the cracked mirror, I just don't like the way it looks. It's as simple as that. Just like I love Asylum, and I can't tell you why. Something about Crazy Nights just irks me. But I will tell you that this one is about to be the most nitpicky one of all time. And it's going to burn bitch burn. I could even put it somewhere between heaven and hell. I'll put it there, and for this reason alone. I like the figure, and the stone, and the postage stamp, and the colors. I know it doesn't look like a Kiss album at all. But what throws this off for me, that makes me not like... I like it. If they just threw a Kiss on it, it'd be higher. But if they took those damn sunglasses off of that, I don't know why. It's stupid. It's a nitpick. But those sunglasses bring it down a tier. I hate the sunglasses on it. The most petty reason to drop it a level. And I don't like the sunglasses. Everything else about it, I think vibes well, flows well. No. Can't do the sunglasses. And I skipped one. We got smashes, thrashes, and hits, or however, whatever order it goes in. And I don't like it. I'll go to Burn Bitch Burn. Again, it's an 80s cover. They got the fans coming up. He's trying to John Cena us on the cover, it looks like. It's at least all I can see. Very 80s. Could be in the middle, but I'm tired of putting stuff in somewhere between heaven and hell because that feels kind of like a cop-out at a point. So I'm going to put it at Burn Bitch Burn. Nothing special. Just there, just exists. It's the time. But it's bringing us back on track with Kiss Revenge. Simple. Right, you're not getting the flash, you're not getting the broken mirrors, you're not getting the 80s, you're not getting the fanfare. You're getting Kiss, and they're back. Flat Kiss Revenge. Nothing crazy about this cover, nothing egregious about this cover. It's just straightforward. King of the Mountain is for stuff that I think is saved as... That's a big album. I almost said iconic, I stopped myself. And if I had to put this one, it would be in between King of the Mountain and somewhere between Heaven and Hell. I don't even know. It could go either way. It could go either way. I'm going to put it right down the middle. But it's definitely on the higher end of somewhere between. That is for sure. And we're heading into Kiss Alive 3. And this one wanted the best, dude. This is such a good cover. It's all black. And then this is the first one where they've got it inside the letters like that, and it looks tight. It gives off the vibe of the show, the energy of the band, what this album is offering. This album packs a lot of punch. You've got the lights, the colors, the explosions, all in the words. You know Kiss Alive is back. Kiss Alive 3, one of the best. And then we drop off to a Burn Bitch Burn with Kiss Unplugged. Now, I was never a big fan. I never grew up listening to this album, so it always slipped my mind that it even existed. Love the album. It's grown on me, but the cover gets worse every time. It's just, the picture's bad. It's not very in focus. There's too many people on the stage. It's jumbled. Can't really make heads or tails of it. They got that rip effect, which is fine, but for an album where they're coming back together like that, you figured there'd be some more pop to it. For one of the highest selling MTV Unplugs, very weak cover. And we're going into Greatest Kiss. I can't remember. I think this one came first, then Greatest. It doesn't matter. We're getting them all done. Greatest Kiss. I just talked about how I liked it in Kiss Alive 3. But Greatest Kiss, middle of the road. I'm going to move Revenge up. Fuck it. Greatest Kiss does the same thing Kiss Alive 3 did, but with less pop. It's just someone put their pictures in the letters. I know it's a box set, so it's not like they were trying to make some huge album out of it, but middle of the road, basic Kiss logo with something in it. Doesn't have the same pizzazz as Alive 3. Now this one can go to rock bottom. You wanted the best, you got the best. Too long of a title. Don't put 2 exclamations at the end of it. And the Photoshop animation effect on this is horrible. They look terrible. The fire looks terrible. This looks like a high school project. Like someone tried to do a photo project and this is what they made. And they used that. Maybe that's what they did. Maybe I need to look into the backstory of it. But you have all these cool drawn ones. You've got these ones with their pictures. And then you have this. Like, there's no excuse. Well, the effects weren't the same in the 90s. Well, they had cool shit in the 70s, so why are you botching it so bad in the 90s? Terrible. Psycho Circus, King of the Mountain. And this one is a bigger King of the Mountain if you have the vinyl, because you can open. The way it's packaged, and you open it, the feel, the look, it's such a cool comeback. It screams Kiss. It feels Kiss. And originally I had this in the middle, but when you get the vinyl in your hand, it just hits a lot harder. It's got a cooler feel. You're along for this ride. When you're looking at it, hearing the intro to Psycho Circus, phenomenal. Solid entry, solid cover. Rock bottom for Carnival of Souls. The final sessions. It's just a picture of them that someone put some paint font over. They just typed something over it. There's not a lot going on. It could easily be a Burn Bitch Burn. But it's nothing. It's nothing. I don't mind the album. Someday I'll rank the albums. It's fine. I get they're going for a grunge thing. But it's just a lazy picture. I know that it almost is like don't have this. It's like don't exist. We recorded this before the band got back together. Now the band's together and we did this. Kind of need to get this out of here. It's a throwaway cover to say the least. Now, the first Kiss album or CD I ever bought. because I saw it in an FYE in the mall. So nostalgia's gonna get me. The very best of Kiss is in You Wanted the Best. It's the first one I saw. It's the first one I hooked my eyes on. It's the first one I bought. It's got their faces. I had to look at it and go, what the fuck's up with those guys? I've seen them on a calendar before. I thought they were girls. Now I'm here looking at this. They're right here. They got a cool logo. Ace Frehley's staring me down. Paul might try to kiss me. Peter's got something weird going on, but I'm intrigued. I'm here. I'm here, baby. And I bought it. And without that cover, there'd be no Kiss album for me. Without no Kiss album, I wouldn't be doing this list. It's got to be up there. It's the one. Taking us to the final Alive. Kiss 4 with a symphony. King of the Mountain. I know you didn't see that one coming. You probably thought that was going to be low because there's not a lot going on. But I think that's what helps this album. It's sleek and black. It's like you're going to a symphony, so it looks like you got your invitation. Very nice, very formal. But you got that little trickle of blood down the side. Very elegant, tight, put together. Looks bad ass. Really gets you into the feel of what you're about to get. King of the Mountain, Kiss Alive 4. Taking us to the first studio album that came out what I would consider my lifetime, because Psycho Circus came out when I was alive, but I wasn't old enough to enjoy it. Sonic Boom. And out of nostalgia, probably helps this, we're getting King of the Mountain. But at this point, Kiss knows what they are. They know who they're playing to. You know what their band is. They're not trying to reinvent a sound. They're not trying to go with the times. They're just playing Kiss rock and roll. Let's put our faces on it. Let's get a little pop, little color. It's Kiss. I saw them on this tour. I know that specifically because Paul Stanley kept going, Sonic Boom, 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 Boom. Every chance you could get. And I had the album. Had a shirt, had a poster, had it all. So I've seen it a lot. Think it's cool. Fits. Again, nostalgia's one hell of a bitch. So that probably helps it. And last but not least, their final studio album, Monster. Somewhere between heaven and hell. Right down the middle. Again, they know what they are at that point. They're Kiss. We're going to play some rock and roll. Here's our faces. Here's our logo. We're here. You know what you're getting. We're not getting new people. We're here. We're giving you what you want. And that is my list. Guys, this will be linked down below if you want to make your own list. Tag me in it. Make your own videos. It doesn't matter. Put it in the comments what your list is. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What albums should I have put in? Left out? What do you think? Let me know. Plan on doing more album reviews, movie reviews, series, rankings, all that good stuff I plan to do. Sean Blumenshine, he loves Kiss. That'll be linked down below for all you Kiss Army members. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. You guys are the best. Peace.